Hey guys, this is the outline for today's learning work. Your industrial rev assessment is going to be on Wednesday, so you have covered all of the learning in the past week that you need to be successful on your assessment. So today I'm going to start off by reviewing the learning you did on Friday. Then you're going to look at two political cartoons and analyze them for the issue that the author is trying to bring attention to, and then ultimately the message that they want people to think about. Then for the rest of class, you're going to work on filling out your review guide. As always, try to go through all of it and just use your brain to fill in as much as you can. When you get to a point where you're stuck and you can't think of anything else, then highlight anything you do not know, and then you can come back to your learning work and fill in the rest of your study guide. You need to have it completely filled out for class on Tuesday, and yes, I will be back then. So let's just kind of take a glance at it and go over, first of all, the learning that you did on Friday. So go ahead and open up your graphic organizer and check out your information. So you started out reading about living conditions and also looking at those images of tenements. And basically tenements are kind of like slum apartments. They're one-room apartments for the whole family. They're very cramped. Most of them have no bathrooms or running water, no windows, so they have little or no daylight. So if they wanted light, they had to either light candles or lanterns. They use little stoves for cooking and also for heat. There was really no way to escape an emergency. Oftentimes, these tenements only had one door, and if they didn't have a window and there was a fire outside the door, they were stuck. It was pretty unclean. Diseases spread easily. There's no electricity. And if they wanted water, a lot of times they would have to go down to the courtyard where they'd only have like one fountain there. There are a couple other things that you could have about living conditions, but these are the majority of them. So we looked at, oh my goodness, all of these businesses are making so much wealth off all of these workers. And then we looked at what the working conditions were. And we realized, man, they do not get paid a lot of money. They kind of get taken advantage of. And it also explains why they lived in this condition, because they didn't really have a lot of money to go anywhere else. So all of this contributed to what your final piece of learning was on Friday, which was labor unions. So for labor unions, you realize that it's basically organizing a group of people to come together that work in the same job. And they basically say, hey, we have a lot of power if we join together and we try to negotiate for better wages or working conditions. So the best example I can think of to give you about this that you really understand is, say one of you went and said, man, I really don't like school lunch. And you complain to somebody, hey, I don't really like this food. What would they say to you? They'd say, don't eat school lunch, or don't eat lunch at all, or whatever. They would basically say, you're one person, we're going to feed the rest. So if you think about it in context of, if you organized and got together with everybody in school and you went and you said to people, hey, we really don't like school lunch, then they might listen to you, because it's everybody coming together and saying, hey, we don't want school lunch. Now, I want to be clear. School cooks and cafeteria ladies do everything with their power to create food that you guys are going to like. They are limited by laws, resources, and the menu that is created by someone other than themselves. So they basically are told, this is what you're going to cook. They cook it, and that's what they serve to you. They have very little control over what actually ends up on your plate as far as types of food. So don't go complaining to them. But ultimately, a labor union is meant to help people join together, because when you have multiple people who are voicing the same thing, you have more power. So in order to get better working conditions, they would have strikes, which is where they would refuse to work until they got better working conditions. They would have rallies to not only get people to join and support their cause, but also help unite the people who were trying to get better conditions. And then ultimately, some of them tried negotiating with their bosses themselves. When we look at success, there was some success. Some of them got better pay and shorter hours, but the majority of labor unions at this time were not very successful. And unfortunately, safety conditions were not improved. And you guys saw how catastrophic that could be from the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire clip. As always, as you are looking over these and finding out good things and bad things, you should be adding to your chart down below as well. If you have questions about any of the information I shared or anything is unclear, please send me a Schoology message. I will be checking my phone throughout the day. Now that we're done reviewing, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to open the political cartoons document in today's folder and send it to Schoology. This is one of the first images, and ultimately what you're going to do is what is the message that they're trying to send with this, because political cartoons are meant to draw attention to an issue and then send some kind of message about that issue. So you're going to identify what's the message and what's the issue that they're trying to bring awareness to. And just so you guys are really clear, this is a little girl who is laying on a tombstone of profit, and in the background you can see lots of factories with smokestacks in them. Then the second political cartoon looks like this. So you're going to think about what's the issue they're trying to bring attention to and what do they want people to think about or to do. So you're going to answer just these two political cartoons, and then you're going to move on to your review guide, which looks like this. So right off the bat, you're going to start by identifying 4 benefits of good things that happened during the Industrial Rev and 4 costs, some negatives. And this is going to set you up for the next piece, which is where you're going to decide, was there more good or bad? So did the costs outweigh the benefits? So was there more costs than good? Or were the benefits outweighing the cost? Therefore, was there more good than bad? You're going to circle which one you want to choose from, which one are you going to support with evidence. And then down below here, you're going to give me 3 reasons why you believe the choice you picked. So if you pick this one, you're going to show me how there's more costs than benefits. And then if you pick this one, you're going to show me there's more benefits than costs. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go through and define each of our vocab words. I do not want you to copy and paste from your textbook definitions. This is a situation where I want you to put the words down as you would think of them. So you're basically going to take the definition and put it in your own words. So example, for a corporation, I might say it's owned by many investors. Or for laissez-faire, it's when government isn't involved in making laws about businesses. So basically you're going to take it and you're going to take the definition and you're going to put it in your own words. And you're going to do that for each one of these. And then down at the bottom, you're going to talk about what changes did labor unions want. So what were they trying to get to happen? What methods they used to bring about that change? Whether they were effective or not using supporting evidence. And then ultimately, you're going to tell me 2 inventions that we talked about in class and explain how they changed people's lives. And this needs to be completely filled out for class on Tuesday when we come in to review. I said this earlier, but please send me messages in Schoology if you have questions. I will check my phone throughout the day, and I will see you tomorrow.